Hello, 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 everybody. Happy Monday. I wanted to start off this live with just a clip. I posted it on my Instagram, so you guys might have already seen it, but it really encapsulates like Cody's vibe, I feel like. So it's 12 seconds. Let's just take a look.
I know this will pass. I know it will. But I've already gone through like the destruction of my family. But who cares? That's happened. It's been dark. And I will move through this.
He's already gone through the destruction of his family. Who cares?
Right. It's okay. I already did it.
And you know what's concerning to me about this is that I'm pretty sure McKelty said that these confessionals were filmed after Garrison passed away.
Mm.
So I don't know if that one specifically, but like that's real dark if he still decided to say that on camera. But hello, everybody. Good evening. Hello. James, did you see the news of the new McMansion 2.0?
Yes, I did. In fact, I did a video on it. Yeah. I think mistakes are being made, both financially, and I would dare to say, like I said before, I'm not an attorney, and I would challenge or invite any attorney who wants to contact me at mytakeonrealityquestions@gmail.com. You can text me or email me and correct me, but I think that this is horrible litigation strategy. Like if I'm speaking as a client. Like if I had my kids and I'm in some kind of custody dispute, and somebody came up with the bright idea that they were going to start buying properties and showing how much money they have when they're in dispute about how much money they want to pay on child support, this might not be the good move to make. Buying a Maybach, the Rolls Royce, and the Porsche might not be the top of your priorities at the moment.
He spends money like 18-year-old Sarah that just got approved for her first credit card.
Right.
There is this scene in I think the movie is called Raya, the Last Dragon. It's an animated movie on Disney. My daughter loves it. Where the character Aquafina's character just learns about credit, and she's like, I would like to buy this on credit. And it's like, I think I've used that clip in a video. It's like that totally reminds me of Cody and Robin, like the concept that like resources are finite, like the show is going to end one day. Also, just like someone made a really astute comment on my video that I put out about this, but they said, does he not realize that millions in dollars in debt is essentially living in poverty? Like if you are in the hole more than you take in every month, like what are you doing?
Right.
Yeah.
Because I equate that, because give me 2 points on that. First point, I equate that in response. I equate that to a financial prison. Like you're imprisoning yourself and limiting yourself financially because you don't have fungible assets that you can just come in and say, I have liquid assets. If I need to move, I need to do something, I can do it. This is part of the reason why when you look at the first McMansion, they didn't take care of that house. They like shiny and new, but they don't want to maintain anything. It's kind of like how the same way he went out and collected a whole bunch of wives and he didn't maintain any of those relationships.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, because I heard like the floors in their current house are really like not, they like need to be redone. I mean, my floors need to be redone. So I'm in a glass house throwing stones there, but
you're buying a $2 million house.
No, I live in essentially Orlando, Florida. I don't know if there is a $2 million house out here, but
I put a couple of neighbors' houses together.
Yeah, and maybe if we get the whole loop I live on together, maybe that makes $2 million. I don't know, but
Right. Well, I have to owe some money. I got to write an
One hurricane
IOU.
comes in and it'll just take us
Right.
all right out. Yeah.
Well,
We got a
even
super chat
oh yeah.
early on. Negla3, thank you
Oh
so much. Blessed evening, my YouTube bro and sis. If only the first marriage is important, why was Lord Fauntleroy and Robert such a big deal? Yeah, good question.
right, right. Well, you know, because Negative Three was actually on my chat last night, and
Yeah.
there were a few people. So big salute to Negla for hanging out both nights, two strikes. But the somebody made an excellent point last night for the $430,000 deposit that they put on this house. That could have been money that they put on Coyote Pass. So it's kind of crazy when Cody says that I don't have any money to pay off anything on Coyote Pass, but yet and still you have $430,000 to put on a deposit for a new house. You
Mhm.
do have the money, Huss. You do have the money.
Yep. It's what do you have the money for? And my biggest fear with having kids is, God forbid, I need like $2,000 or $3,000 of open credit because of some sort of medical. I mean, not even like kidney or spinal surgery level, like,
Mm,
but like, let's say, I mean, because an emergency room visit these days, even if it's like like not a big deal, if they do an x-ray and give you a Tylenol, you're looking at $1,000.
right.
So
Right.
I'm thinking I need to always have like a couple $2,000 to $3,000 of available open credit. I need to have one clear credit card just in case my kid has a medical emergency.
You
But
know
Cody
the
and Robin clearly don't live like that, because I cannot believe they have to be like strapped. And when you're like strapped, because I think we've all been there when like so it's like I get it. I get it. You know, what someone posted in the chat, like the image of poverty is what Cody is afraid of. So like as long as he has the image going that he is well off, like that's good enough for him. So it's like, okay, you bought yourself this big house. We all know when I think a lot of us can relate to overextending ourselves. I've
right.
done it. So I'm not necessarily judging Cody for that, but I'm also not, like, it's all relative, right? Like I'm not overextending myself on a $2 million house, but it's like it's stressful when you don't know if you're going to make ends meet. That is stressful.
Right. Well, I think that that's the bigger part too. Is that at the end of the day, like he kind of gives the intonation that him and Robin are having these problems and they're struggling in their relationship. I have to tell you, just from my experience, when you have because everybody's hit struggle mode. I don't care how good you've been or how much money you've had in the bank. At some point in your life, you're going to hit struggle mode.
Yeah.
Okay, and when that happens, that is the most hair pulling, stressful time. That's when you sit there biting your nails. You can't sleep at night because you're worried about what's going to happen. And like you said, it's the one thing that you're afraid of. Like you're at that precipice where you're barely holding on, but you're scared to death that somebody's going to freak around and fall off a curb or trip down the steps. And that's going to be the thing that's going to lead you to financial ruination. Because the truth of the matter is, even here in the States, one of the main reasons why people file for bankruptcy isn't because they out gambling and living the high life, is because of medical bills. And so
Yeah.
you're like one medical emergency away from financial ruin. And these guys are just out spending money like they have a tree out back that's just sprouting $100 bills. And they just, I just got to go out and get a bushel of hundreds and I can go ahead and pay these bills. Like it's going to just keep going. It's scary. Like I'm nervous watching them. Like
I
it's
know.
so
I
bad.
think YouTube is my time machine, echoes my sentiments exactly. Like two mortgage
Right,
payments sounds so scary. Yeah, like,
right.
oh
I
my
did that.
gosh, like that literally,
Right,
it gives my anxiety. Like,
right. I because I sold my the house I'm in now. When I bought this house, I was living in my other house. I was planning on selling it. and
Right.
I didn't have my closing yet, and so I bought this house, and that house hadn't quite sold. And I got to tell you, the stress that I was on, and it's only a couple months like bridge between the two purchases. I was scared as hell. I
Yeah.
was scared as hell. Like
God
you couldn't
forbid
tell me
something
nothing.
fall through. Like, my actually, so my cousin, they um bought they were selling their house and bought their house. There was like a lapse in time, like
Right,
what they actually lost out, and it all ended up working out because they got into a house that they love, but they actually lost out on a house that they had wanted because the offer on their current house fell through, and they just, my cousin did not want to like overextend himself and take a chance like that. So yeah, all that stuff is really the thought of 2 mortgages, like,
right. And he has two big
I
mortgages.
was gonna
And I
say,
wasn't
we're
even
not
like
even
nowhere near that.
like, yeah, we're not even talking like my mortgage. We're
Right.
talking
I
like,
had regular people mortgage. Like,
yeah, I can't imagine, like, because he still has over, I think it was reported there, he still owes like 600,000, 5 or 600,000 on the regular McMansion. And then this new house, they financed 1.6 million.
right. Well, actually, it was my understanding that the original loan was like 600,
Oh,
but they took out additional equity loans on the house.
yeah.
Yeah, McMansion. So they owe like I this the way they're doing it. Like I can appreciate Daredevil. I grew up when I was coming up. We had Evil Knievel, love stuntmen, love Daredevil. This dude, Cody and Robin, they're out pumping gas, smoking cigarettes with dynamite sticks in their pocket. Like this is crazy. I couldn't sleep at night. I would be so scared. Like I'd just be walking around just shaking all the time, drinking coffee. Oh man, I'd be a nervous wreck. Be snapping
Oh,
out at the cat.
Carrie is reporting, this could be some breaking news. I'll have to look into it. Sarah and James, their McMansion sold for 1.6 million. MLS says pending.
Okay.
Okay. Well, but see, and then that's the other thing, because what, like, I thought I had heard, and again, like, I didn't report it because I don't know anything to be true really in life.
You and me both.
Um, but I had heard that they took their listing off the market because of Christine's lawsuit. So how is all of this factoring into Christine's suit? It has to be the dumbest. So like when I remember several years ago when we bought our house, the one thing that they tell you to do is don't go like opening up new lines of credit or whatever and doing all this
Mm,
stuff. I have to imagine that if you get sued, like any lawyer representing you, and I know that Cody, like, it has like I don't know, a pay by the hour lawyer or something. I don't know if it's like I think it's like just a lawyer to file paperwork for him. But I think anybody giving Cody legal advice would say it's really dumb to be parading around spending all this money when you're about to go to court and someone's asking you for a ton of money.
right, right. Well, because it's the weird part about it is that first and foremost, I would say to somebody who is fighting a custody case or even a support case, child support, child custody, and it's very divisive, very adversarial. I would say get an attorney. If you can afford an attorney, it can be money well spent. If you can get a good attorney, it'll be money well spent because it can save you in the long run.
Mhm.
If you're dealing with millions of dollars in property and assets, you would be a fool. You would be a fool not to have an attorney full time on retainer for this matter. You would be a fool. In fact, I think Cody should not only get an attorney in Utah where the case is being heard, but you very well may want to get an attorney to represent you in Arizona to represent the LLC, which would not be your personal attorney, would be a business attorney who represents the Dab Shark LLC.
Mhm.
And if they have a trust that was a Whitestone Trust, have an attorney to represent them as a separate matter if you're going to claim that. But if you try to put that all under one umbrella, they're going to pierce through the corporate veil and they're going to attack those funds. Like, and even that 1.6, if he does sell the $1.6 million home, that's income. That's the part that makes it stupid. Because if you have a $1.6 million asset, that's one thing. You're making payments on it. That's one thing. That could lower your child support because you're making payments. That's a bill that you have to pay. But if you have $1.6 million windfall come in, that's income because you already put your down payment on the house. And unless that money is tied in or contractually bound by your sale, that the money that you sell from the house will go to that new property. And that's part of the reason why you got it, which doesn't make sense because you put down 20% on the home, then then he's going to get destroyed. Like it goes from like the money you have in the bank to imagine if I make a baby and my baby mama want to sue me, right? Take me to court. And a week after she files the paperwork to take me to court for support, I hit the lottery. They get some of that lottery money, not my paycheck money.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I mean? And that's what makes it like this is dumb as hell.
I know, and I saw someone comment. I don't know if I saw it on Reddit, but someone commented like they've literally seen judges tell people to find a cheaper place to live if they're getting a child support bill, like taken to court for child support, because child support's going to trump everything. You're not going to be able to say, oh, but judge, my mortgage is $11,000 a month. I can't afford to pay. Well, move.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know anything about the legal system, especially in like Utah or Arizona. But like I saw someone on Reddit, and that would make sense. Like it's not Truly's fault. You just bought a $2.1 million mansion.
Right, right. Well, see, the weird part about it is that like with child support payments, they balance though it's all formulaic. So they input all the information as far as your debts, things that you have coming out of your pocket, how much you pay for your mortgage, rent, lights, bills. Uh, Cody has two other minor children, so that gets plugged into the equation because he has responsibility to those kids as well. So
Mm.
fair or not fair, they get plugged in too. The thing is that they also figure Cody's income and Christine's income.
Mm-hmm.
So Christine makes, in my opinion, I think that Christine makes significantly more than Cody. So that could lower his child responsibilities. The weird part of Utah, and again, if there's an attorney who wants to correct me on this if I'm wrong, but from my understanding in the jurisdiction of Utah, like in my jurisdiction, a step parent, their income can't be calculated into the parents thing. Like, so Robin's income couldn't be calculated with Cody's. Utah, the step parent's income can be calculated, and that
Okay.
makes a world of difference because that opens up a lot of avenues for them to be able to start attaching that $1.6 million windfall that they have if they did sell the house, the house that they just purchased, the companies that they have in their names. Like a lot of things become possible. So again, I'm really interested in talking to somebody suggested that. Like, why don't you just hire an attorney? Like, I don't want to hire an attorney. Cody should hire an attorney. I
We
shouldn't have
don't
to hire
need the legal advice.
an attorney. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, this whole thing, like it just got way more complicated, which the whole like domestic injunction, that really if Cody would have followed it, it actually would have could have simplified things for him a little bit. But I think that his ego and his pride are getting in the way of what he needs to do for himself to make good financial moves. At least that's my position.
Yeah.
That's what I would be thinking about.
What were your overall thoughts on this episode? I saw someone wrote this episode was boring, put me to sleep. It definitely gave filler episode vibes for sure.
Right.
I think in the grand scheme of what we know is to come. McKelty had mentioned on her Patreon that Christine had told her that this season is going to get really difficult to watch.
Mm.
So I don't know if that is just in reference to everything with Garrison, or if the family dysfunction is going to get even more contentious, because we know there's nothing different in the family relationship wise today than there was when we're watching the footage being shown. So it's actually probably worse now.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because especially if because some of the stuff that Cody says, I'm gonna be honest with you. If it was in fact before Big G's passed, it did not age well. If it's after, like you said earlier, if this stuff was filmed after he passed and he's still getting up there saying this, my dude,
Yeah.
my dude, like you are blowing your family to smithereens and just sweeping the ashes up and throwing them in the river. Like this is crazy. Like
I
it would be
know.
like insane. It would be insane.
And I have so many thoughts and so many, like, I have tried so hard to not point fingers of blame, right? Because you really can't. Like, I don't
Right,
actually know any of these people personally, right?
right.
But we feel like we do parasocially and all that, blah, blah, blah.
Uh-huh.
But just knowing that, like, while I don't assign blame to any of the parents for Garrison's passing, your actions afterwards, I do judge. And being that it doesn't look like this event fundamentally rocked Cody to his core, I think that he is just a broken person on the inside.
Right.
Like, and I don't know. And so, like, therefore, and I think I said this in a previous video, he's really just a case study on a personality disorder for me now, because I just don't get it.
Right. It's he's definitely showing the potential cruelty of human beings and human nature. I think that there's the part that bothers me the most is that I can feel for Cody, his loss, his
Right.
the things that he's missing out on. I feel for his situation, but at the same time, I can't lose focus of the fact that, like you said, I don't want to assign blame per se to who did what and what was lacking, and this is why Big G's did what he did. But at the same time, I recognize the fact that Cody isn't stepping up to the plate because he's so worried and so obsessed with his own personal feelings and how things are affecting him that it just seems like to me from the outside that he's not taking his kids into consideration. There are other people who have suffered a tremendous loss that he could help to build bridges back to, not just for himself, but to help them through this very tough time. And it just seems like he's not making an effort to do that. And that to me is like the true crime here, because especially with Gabe finding his brother like that, and then I've been in a situation that was similar to that, where I had to notify a parent that something like this had happened,
Sorry.
and it's crazy tough
Yeah.
to be the person. I could imagine calling my mother up and saying, "This is what happened to your son." You understand what I mean? So I sympathize with Gabe's situation, because it's tough. It's a tough spot. And this is his brother, and he's heartbroken himself, but then he has to go back and share that news with the mom, with his mom, that this is what happened to her son, and then try to help her through her grief. And instead of him at that point, instead of him being the child and focusing on his feelings, his emotions, and dealing with his stuff, he has to take care of his mom, when his dad could be the person to come in there and help the mom and help him. And the weird part of what happens in the Brown family, it just seems like this is an extension of where the kids actually become like the adults, and the adults become the kids. Like they have this body switch where the
Yeah.
kids are doing the things the adults should be doing, and the adults are doing the things the kids should be doing. It's crazy.
Like, for example, all the swap and spit we were witnessing this episode, and that is people are like, get it, Christine. People are like, whoa,
Yeah,
whoa, whoa, pump the brakes. I think I fall somewhere in the middle, and we're gonna get to all of that. But yeah, that I definitely agree. There is some role reversal here with what we are expecting out of the kids and the parents. The parents are
right,
acting
right.
like kids, the kids are acting like parents. Let's recognize some super chats real quick, some super
Mhm.
stickers. Allison Davis, thank you so much. Teresa Skinner,
Hey,
you're always so supportive. Thank you. And Allison Davis again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are awesome.
yep,
All right. So really this episode we get two like main things going on, and very little Janelle. We get Janelle sprinkled in with some commentary. I always love her
right.
commentary. Maybe that's why this episode felt lacking, because we didn't get like sassy Maddie and Maddie's faces. We definitely were at a loss there, but we have Mary is packing up her Flagstaff home,
Hmm.
and then we have Christine and David going to look at wedding venues before they're even engaged.
Right, right. Weird.
I think so too. And I mean, I'm all for practicality, like, and when you know, and obviously things like that.
Right.
Get the ring first. Get the ring first.
It's
I'm sorry.
okay.
I'm just gonna, if that is an unpopular opinion, I am just going to. I had a 14-month long engagement because of when our wedding venue had availability. Like, I wanted to get married in the fall, winter, and I didn't want to get married like my my husband proposed to me on my 30th birthday. So I wasn't going to get married in 2 months. So it was like,
Mhm.
I got married December the next year. Practicality purposes. Uh, this is wild to me. This is truly wild. Would I have done some shit like this in my early 20s? Like, oh my God, we just started dating. Let's go look at wedding venues. Absolutely. Absolutely. Would I seriously question any guy that was like, oh yeah, sure. That's a great idea.
Right, right. Yeah, I probably would have been there. I would have been there. But like I think that there's a for me it's like a weird part because I've always respected the more the relationship as opposed to the event. So, it's weird to me. Like I think that there was like a rush for them to get married. Like we gotta get down now because we can't waste no time. We gotta be in love. There's no restriction on how you feel about one another. There's no restriction on your commitment to one another. The
Mhm.
only thing that holds you back really is your personal decision on how you conduct your relationship. So there's no rush for you to run down the aisle and commit yourselves, especially before you really get to know each other.
Yeah.
Because you right now you're in 6 weeks. Like they're doing all this in 6 weeks, and in
And,
6 weeks, I got to tell you, you still seeing a representative. You're not
and
seeing a real them yet.
I was listening to Ace and Caitlin's podcast, their recap of the episode earlier today, and I think they made a really good point. Like, obviously, we can all talk about this now because Christine and David have been married for a year. They just celebrated their anniversary. Like, they've made it. Love David, blah, blah, blah. He definitely does not seem like Cody. Sorry, Tony. But
Right.
at this point in time, all of these kids are seeing their mom know a guy for 6 weeks. They know based off of their own upbringing and the culture, like all of these relationships move really fast. Um,
Hmm.
And maybe they're thinking like, and we see this theme of what Cody, and I'm going to have a video on this tomorrow of when Cody is talking about like marrying someone you don't know and what a disservice the religion does to people when they push that on people. Who wants to be tied to eternity to someone they end up coming to really resent? It begs the question, like after 6 weeks, like the concern is definitely there that you just don't know.
Right.
We're really glad it worked out for Christine, but she definitely rolled the dice.
Right. I mean, maybe you could make the argument that she rolled the dice. She would probably make the argument that, when you know. And in some cases, and not to throw a bucket of water on either of the observations, the truth of the matter is time will tell. Like I think that's kind of where it is. Like we'll see where things are because they're still in the newlywed stages of any relationship, much less their marriage. So even though they've been married for 2 years, they're fresh out of the newlywed stage of a marriage, but they're still technically in the newlywed stage of a relationship because I can hold it together in 2 years for 2 years.
Yeah, so they got married in October. And they met in, was it December? So
that's right.
they
Yeah.
Like 10 months and they were married.
Mm-hmm.
From meeting to marriage, 10 months.
Right.
And people will say, oh, I knew with my husband. I think I told my husband I loved him probably a couple weeks in.
Oh, okay.
And that freaked him out. That freaked him out for sure. And I didn't really care. I was like, I love you, whatever. Say it back when you feel like you do,
Right.
That's how I roll. And we've been married going on 6 years now. So I definitely can appreciate the when you know aspect of it all. But also like when my husband and I got engaged, like we didn't have like any other, like we weren't bringing kids into the relationship to have to like take into consideration. I just really feel and again, we're talking hindsight because we know everything works out. So it's like almost a non-issue, but it is concerning. It's like there's a 14-year-old truly. And I don't know how young David's youngest is. I don't know if Max is his youngest kid. But it's like we're talking about there's minor children involved, and I'm just I love Christine, but I sometimes feel like she doesn't pay enough attention to what's in the best interest of her children. I think she did when she left Cody. But almost, I feel like that was almost too little too late at that point.
Right. Well, see, here's the thing. Because I'm with you and I'm about to get in trouble boot right now. Right. That's it. I'm about to get in trouble boot. The thing that I kind of noted even last night that has always bothered me about the institution of polygamous relationships as we've seen them described on the show. It always appears that the man is the foremost sought after commodity in the entire relationship. So when he comes over, everything in the household stops and everything caters to him, his needs, and his presence. So these kids theoretically would have grown up in an environment where their entire lives would have revolved around when daddy's coming. So these kids are learning the importance of the man being involved in his wife's life, and the kids having to serve, that man's needs. So it'd be in the structure of the home, it's the man first, mother second, who serves the needs of the father, and then the kids who are there, who are underneath the mother, but they're there also to serve the needs of the father. And then if that relationship dissolves, then if Christine is so hyper focused on David, like the one thing she said last week was, well, I hope you guys like him. Oh, we like David. Well, good, because if you don't, I don't care. Like again, that kind of feeds into the whole idea that it's all about the man and making sure that the man is okay. And
Yeah.
for me, if I was a single guy out looking for somebody and they had kids, it would be very unattractive to me. To me. And I'm not necessarily taking shots at Christine, but I'm just saying is that if I was a single guy and I was out looking for a wife or a girlfriend or partner and they she had children and she said, well, James, I'm gonna put you ahead of my kids, that would be unattractive to me. You know what I mean? It's not a competition. Like I don't
Mhm.
expect to like go, but at the same time, like it would bother me that somebody would say, "I'm going to put you and your needs come first over any of what my kids want or what
Yeah.
their desires are." I'm not even saying that that's what Christine 100% saying. She's being negative about it,
Yeah.
but when I heard it, that's when my antennas kind of went up. That's where I
Yeah.
was just kind of, you know,
Rebecca says, and thank you so much for the super chat, Rebecca. At least Christine
they're
has
it.
shown self awareness about the PDA in recent interviews, saying, yeah, I even cringe at myself. It's a lot. I guess you don't know it's too much until you see yourself on TV. I think that that is fair. And
Right.
I do love seeing Janelle and Christine in these interviews. They both of them are very self-aware of how they're coming off. Like I can appreciate that Christine's like, you know what? If I want to make out with David, I'm gonna make out with David.
Right. Which is
You know?
fair. That's her husband. That's her man. So she can do whatever she wants. Go
Yeah.
and get your freak on, do your thing.
Yeah.
I will say though, I
Uh-huh.
do think that we have to recognize that one, I think we've been sanitized a little bit because on this show we haven't really seen a whole lot of affection the entire 19
True.
seasons.
I
You
mean,
know,
Cody says
so
he's been restrained. What are we gonna see Cody and Robin do next season?
yeah, they might be
They
playing that
just
wow
did let
wow
their
wow music.
flag fly.
Right,
Oh
exactly.
dear
So
God.
So I mean, I can see that, and we're just not used to seeing her in that type of environment. But at the same time, like her kids, it's a little bit of a learning curve for you to accept the fact that your mother is a young, healthy woman who has sexual needs and desires. You
Mhm.
know, but at the same time, it's a little weird watching it. Just because. But imagine how the kids feel because they never saw their mother like this. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? It's one thing for me to say, yeah, she's a healthy woman. Of course, don't check her top drawer or whatever. That's one thing. But for her kids who have never seen Cody come in, because they said that Cody wasn't like super affectionate even in the house with Christine like that.
Right.
So they're not used to seeing their mother in this position. So it probably is freaky to them.
Yeah. And I mean, my parents have always been like affectionate with each other, but not like French kissing, not on that
Right.
level. Like that, and so I don't think anyone begrudges like hand holding or pecks or cuddling and stuff like that. But the like tongues in each other's mouths in front of your kids, it's like it's just a bridge, just a little, just dial it back just a notch, Christine, just a notch.
Right.
We're not trying to dull her sparkle all the way. We're just, we're dusting a little bit of the glitter off, just a little bit.
It occurs to me though, and for those who have sensitive ears, plug your ears because we're going dark things a little bit. Um, it does occur to me that if you have somebody who, whether regardless of whether they're young in their 20s or in their middle age 50s, whatever, and they've never really experienced the true depths of physical contact, we'll say, you know, they went to Element, but they never got an O. If you get what I'm saying, like
Mhm.
they never got to that point. If she's experiencing that now, then that could explain why she's so, supercharged as far as like the excitement in the relationship. If she never had a man who was focused on her enjoyment of this particular activity, and now she's with a man who not only cares about her enjoying it, but really, looks forward to it, seeks after it, and strives to make her enjoy that experience between the two of them, then that also could, in my mind, like Robin would always say, in my mind, that could explain why she is so like, pawing at him, can't keep her hands off him because she's excited, because she never had that with Cody.
Yeah.
Because this is the guy who even admitted on his show for the first time, but I read it in the book, that he didn't even call out of work when he was supposed to marry Chris on his wedding day for Christine. He didn't even call out of work. He wasn't even sure he was going to make his own wedding because he thought he had to work. You know what I mean? That's how excited he was to be with Christine. The 1,000-yard stare. I can't believe I'm marrying this chick. Thank God she's part of the church royalty. Or
Yeah.
well, like
Yeah.
what I mean? She's getting it. Like she's just enjoying herself. So that part of it, I don't really begrudge her. Again, it's just hard for me to watch it. The funny thing is, if you watch Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, those ladies are doing way more than Christine is doing, but nobody is crazy about them.
That is true. Rye Diddy, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I have a narcissistic, emotionally abusive father who no longer talks to me. I'm so sorry about that. I also watch Cody as a case study. Weirdly, it helps me understand my dad more. There is something to be said. I think a lot of people see themselves in I think that that's why we watch reality TV, is because we can connect with our own personal stories to people on the show. For sure. Christina asked, anyone else think Cody and Robin's vow renewal is coming?
Oh, 110%. 110%. Especially after they saw the blowout that Christine and David had. For sure.
Oh, if Puddle Monkey is gonna foot the bill for it too.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Right.
Apery Life, thank you so much for the super chat. The OG3 were emotionally and romantically neglected. Romance and the serving of your partner seem to only benefit Cody. Everybody needs couples therapy before getting into a serious relationship. 100%. I could not agree with that more. Also, I'm just a big advocate for personal therapy in general, because why not? Some people genuinely, that's like their worst nightmare, would be like talking to someone about their problems. But for me, if I could have someone's undivided attention on myself for an hour and I'm just like spewing at them all my grievances and they're like, okay, like let's work. It does something for me. Like I am such a big advocate of therapy.
Well, because it unburdens you. I think that's the big thing.
It does. Like I did not grow up Catholic. I was baptized Catholic. I grew up Lutheran, so I missed out on the confessional part of Catholicism. And so I didn't have that. I didn't get to unburden myself. I just kept it all inside.
Yeah, and it helps too, because all that winds up happening is if you have a bad relationship, you can carry some of those old arguments, those old problems and discrepancies and things into your new relationship. And you wind up shouting and yelling at a person who had nothing to do with anything that you're talking about. Like, I had nothing to do with that pain. I didn't do anything. I just came and I left the seat up on the toilet. Now you yelling at me because you're saying I'm cheating. Like, what the? So it really helps.
With supposedly what we're being led to believe is that that's exactly what Cody's doing to Robin, right? Like he's putting on her all of this frustration and anger, and it's affecting their relationship.
Right. Yeah, he should have been talking to somebody even before the wives left. Like shortly after they left, he needed to talk to somebody, but he really should have been talking to somebody well before his relationships fell apart.
Yeah.
Like, that's just my opinion. Cody, if you're watching this, that's my opinion, bro.
Let's talk about this conversation, or the whole vibe of the whole scene of Mary, Rebecca, her sister. I don't know if this is like a same mother, same father sister, or if this is sister from another mother. I'm not 100% sure. But so we meet Nathan's wife, who's Mary's sister, and then Nathan is Cody's best friend. So it's very interesting, the dynamic here. Mary is giving her furniture to her sister and Nathan, and Cody is coming over. I'm assuming because it's Nathan and not because it's Carrie, but because it's Nathan, to help move the stuff into like a U-Haul. This was kind of an interesting scene. Them talking about the release. Cody goes into a lot about, he says a lot in his some of his little side interviews about how he finds it offensive, the thought of being tied to the OG3 for eternity.
Right. Yeah, it's disgusts me. Like I can't. And again, it's all about him. How do you think they feel about it? Yeah, I mean, they left you. Do you think they want to leave your ass here in the real world, then go to the afterworld, show up to heaven, and you standing at the pearly gates talking about you coming on in, you're trapped again? Like, oh, and I'm gonna be there for eternity. This is hell. Like, this is not heaven. What did I do wrong? That's where I would be at. Like, I want to talk to St. Peter. I need to speak to your manager because this is ridiculous. Yeah, that whole conversation with Nathan was a little odd to me because we've seen Nathan before. He's the one that married Aspen and Mitch. So we've seen him. Like, he's been around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking to Cody last season about how unfair it was for the wives to leave the husbands and the husbands couldn't leave the wives. Because he also went through a divorce, if you recall.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's sitting there talking to Mary. And are you sure you want to give up this furniture? Isn't there a sentimental attachment that you have to this furniture? Yes, it's tied to my ex-husband. That's why I'm getting rid of it. I don't want to see the furniture no more. I don't want to take it to my new house.
I feel like it's more sentimental to us, the viewers, because Mary has kept that furniture, which goes all the way back to like season 3.
Right.
She has kept that furniture pristine. And you just know that means nobody was ever going to Mary's house.
Nobody sat on them chairs.
Yeah. That furniture they bought used, and I think it's in better condition than when they bought it.
Right. She says she take care of her stuff.
She does.
So she does take care of her stuff. I can tell you that Mary takes care of her stuff.
Yeah.
Because those couches were spotless. Those things look new. Like they've been looking. Those couches look. That whole setup has looked fantastic since she bought it that first back in Vegas.
It looked like in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Ferris says that Cameron's house is like a museum. Like you walk in and everything's really nice, but you can't touch anything. That's how I feel like Mary's house is. Like everything's really nice. You walk in it, but you can't touch anything.
Yeah, it's a museum. It's not a house. It's a museum.
And that's how everything stays so nice.
Right.
What did you think of Cody saying that he has resting asshole face?
I think he's right. I think he's right. I think Cody was trying to be facetious, like he was joking. But I think, I think that's about right. Like he looks like he washed his face with sandpaper. Like he looks upset.
Robin took it a step further and said she calls it his murder face, which is
very uncomfortable.
If you have, like, my husband has a lot of faces. I'm sure I have a lot of faces. I don't go, oh my God, that's that murder face of my husband. Right. Oh my God.
That's that bury a dude in the backyard face. You better watch yourself. Like that's not the thing.
And then she says she has to like tell him, and I'm sure she does. She says it all cutesy, like she's joking around, like, don't talk to the kids like that, like put on your pajamas. And it's, why do I feel like this is standard?
Right. Well, I mean, the fact that you have to say something as simple like don't run in the house, don't throw balls in the house, stay away from the gun safe. None of that. Put on your pajamas. Hey, take the murder face off. when you tell them to get ready for bed. Like, what the shit? Like, bro, you need to calm down. You need
The
to calm
only
down.
time I would say like my dad having like a murder face would be like understandable is like, let's say I was playing baseball outside and a ball just went through a window or something. And it's like, oh shit, my dad's going to be so pissed, you know?
Right, right.
It's like,
He
if it's
just brought his car.
putting
He
on
just
my
bought a car.
pajamas, like what?
Yeah. He just bought a car, brought it home first day. He's outside waxing it, shot it up, and you throw a baseball through the front window. Yeah, he's gonna be pissed.
He's gonna be, and yeah, then I would expect to see.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even call it like murder,
Right. Right. And
murder.
the fact that she's been complaining for years now how dark he's been since Christine and everybody left. He's so dark. He's no happy. He's not a happy person. And then you refer to his face as the murder face. Like my whole thing is lady, are you trying to send us signals? Like, is this the SOS? You know what I mean? Like the blink if you're in danger. Is that what this is? Like he has a murder face. A murder face. Like, are you trying to tell us something? So I don't know. I don't know. You said I think was it last week or week before last, and we might be watching a documentary, like the prequel to a documentary
Yeah,
about like something horrible happening.
episode. That's and
Right.
I really don't. I don't want to be right about that. I really hope I'm just being hysterical about it, but like it does genuinely concern me the things that he is so freely saying on the show.
Right. Right. Well,
It's
I tell you what, murder face is going to make the super cut in the documentary. Like, you know what I mean? That's like the final edit.
yeah. Yeah, and it's my gosh. Yeah, there's so many like snippets this season. It's like, did you not think? Because even like I'll notice like when I watch McKelty's Patreons, like she'll say stuff like, "Oh, I'm sure that's going to get clipped and like, you know, make it into a YouTube video." And it's like, does Cody not think before he like goes in to film these confessionals that like these are going to be sound bites?
Right. Right. You're like, oh yeah, this is gonna be famous. This is gonna age well.
Right. Like you saying you're offended that at the thought of being like eternally linked to Mary, Janelle, and Christine, when you have between the three of them, you have what, 13 kids with them?
Right.
Yeah. That is wild. That is a wild thing to say. Are you okay, James?
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, while James is doing that, let's recognize some super chats. Kit Kelly, thank you so much. Someone needs to tell Christine that French kissing and making out in public is not normal. She has a minor at home. Truly was so uncomfortable. I did notice, and it did strike me that Truly was like actively trying to like break up their PDA. So, and then we have another super chat from Lizzie B. Thank you so much. Wonderful moderator. Remember to hit the like button for this reality stream. All righty. All righty. That was perfect timing.
I was listening.
So Mary and Cody have been awkward for a very long time. And but Cody will say like, I don't know. He like, on the one hand, he says like he's been miserable with Mary since essentially day one. And then on the other hand, he's shocked that Mary doesn't want to keep some of her furniture for like sentimental reasons. And he'll say that he's sad. This is an end of an era. And she's like, why are you sad? Right. Mary has some one-liners that I'm like, get it, Mary. Like,
what are you upset about? This is what you wanted. Like that's the whole thing with Cody. This is what you wanted. Remember, you wanted this. This is what
Yeah,
you asked for.
exactly. And it's like I still like I'm glad Mary is being honest.
Mm-hmm.
Um but it's like when she sits there and says like I still wanted to work on things. I'm like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah, I just because I said that we were going to act and we were never going to be together, that didn't mean I wasn't willing to work on things. Huh?
Mhm.
Excuse me?
Oh, this is a excellent observation. End of an era, possibly the end of the show to Cody, which is I think why Cody harbored so much contempt for Christine is I think he really felt like she put the show in jeopardy.
Right, right. She certainly put his role on the show in jeopardy
But it makes me
because
think, James, and I'm just like, kind of like have my thoughts are rambling here, but what does Cody know about what's coming down the pipeline? Because the beginning so far to season 19 hasn't been thrilling. Like there's been no bombshells dropped. I think episode 3 of season 18 was the tell the world fight between
right,
Cody and Janelle, and that was like, whoa, like I can't believe that just happened. And season 17 was Christine leaving, and season 16 at the end was finally Christine moving him. We've had like really like a lot of stuff happening. The season 19 so far, it's like, and mostly it's because we just know everything that's been going on in real life. So this is just such old content. But what does
mhm,
Cody know that's coming that would make him feel so secure to purchase a $2.1 million house? The ratings are down from last season. I
right.
don't know like what in my mind pretty significantly. I think they're down about 1 million viewers. I don't know how significant that is to like, I don't know, the powers that be, but like it's still a really popular show. But what is coming? What are they banking on that Cody feels like he is secure enough in this show? Because this is Cody and Robin's revenue stream.
Right, right. Well,
What
you know
makes
what I
them
think?
so comfortable to purchase a $2 million house?
Right. Because I think what it is, honestly, I think it's the people around them. Like, I think that they're looking at, like, Christine and Janelle, for instance. They're doing the additional interviews with ET and people, and they're all over the place. They have more of a social media presence. Their MLMs are taking off. When you have Mary, her MLM is taking off. She's doing like she's actually got speaking engagements.
Mhm.
Um, then you have, of course, the kids. You have McKelty and Tony. They're making pretty good money on Patreon. You had Gwendolyn when she was on Patreon. She was making good money. You have Madison, who was able to purchase a home or purchase land with Janelle, start a business with her mom. She has an MLM business. In addition, I think next week or week after next, she's starting a podcast.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh, yeah, so he's seeing all these people around him who are making all this revenue. And I think in his mind, I guess through osmosis, he believes he's also going to start making the same money too.
Mhm.
But like in the world of like pop, pop music, since he was talking about Sonny and Cher, I guess, for the last 2 weeks, I'll use the example of the Jackson Five.
Yeah.
He's sitting there with Jermaine and Michael, thinking he's Jermaine and Michael with Cody's ass is Tito. Okay, like he's not doing anything. Like your brother, you don't have a podcast. You've done maybe I think he's done what 2 or 3. Like I know he did Mormonism live, and I
Yeah.
think he did maybe one podcast in addition to that.
I think he does stuff that he's like contractually obligated to. Like
Right.
everything he does is through like People Magazine because that's like who I think TLC has contracted to like get exclusives. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, but he's not doing like I know his cameo business ain't paying like a $2 million for a $2 million house. So like I don't know. I don't know. Maybe because I had heard at one point it was speculated that he had the sister wives under contract as a management firm.
Hmm.
So maybe he's getting a cut of their money. I don't know. I would hope not.
Uh,
They should definitely, if you guys are, look, I'm telling you, if you are paying him money, you need to hire attorneys to look at those contracts because I don't think those contracts are worth the paper they printed on.
I feel confident that all of them have individual contracts now, but
Right.
it is wild to me that the kids are still not getting paid. Like McKelty has gotten married. She has had all of her McKelty is providing the atmosphere for which these adults are still interacting, and she's not even getting paid.
Right. And the kids need to start. They need to start cutting the kids checks. Like that's just the way it works. They need to start cutting them checks because they aren't even minors anymore. You can't even use the excuse. Well, I'm paying their parents so good. Blah blah blah. These are separate households. They are adults now. Cut them a check. Cut them
Yeah,
a check. You
yeah.
know.
We have some more super chats here. Irish Size, thank you so much. Waiting for the ID episode, Murder Face. Yikes. And Halloween is maybe this was the Halloween episode. Murder Face, resting
Right.
acid face. I don't know. That should have been the title of this. The title of this episode was Labor of Love. And I was like, what was the labor? Was moving furniture the labor of love?
Well, here's the ironic part is that you would assume that the labor of love was Cody moving Mary's furniture. But in reality, it was Cody moving his friend's furniture because that's the only person out there that he actually loved. Because if you remember, when he pulled up, homeboy was standing outside his truck waiting for him to get out the truck so he could give him a big old bear hug.
Yeah.
That was little, okay, they boys, they haven't seen each other for a minute. And Mary is calling Cody. He's ignoring her like he doesn't understand English. Then he goes over and gives Mary's sister a hug and blows right by Mary. And she's trying to talk to him. Tell him to keep backing his truck up. Like, it was stupid. It was stupid.
Gigi, thank you so much. Have Cody and Robin never heard "Be careful what you wish for"? You just might get it. Yeah, they have each other now.
Right.
But one of a couple more points from the episode that I wanted to touch on. One was so we're talking about how it was really uncommon. Like part of Christine's justification for why she's being a little bit extra, and she recognizes that she's being a little bit extra, it's because, and like we've talked about, I've seen a lot of people comment in the chat, she wasn't able to do this with her first marriage. And Christine points out that in polygamy, the first marriage is allowed to be like celebrated and a big to do, but any subsequent marriage is really hush hush. And Christine points out kind of the hypocrisy of that because it's like we're in a religion that endorses polygamy, but then doesn't want the marriages or the weddings to be an event. It's like really kind of hush hush. That's not fair. And I can appreciate that. So why then we have to then explain away why Robin gets a big to do coming in as fourth wife.
Right.
And again, Cody falls on the sword there saying, oh, it wasn't Robin. Robin just wanted an elopement. Robin didn't want any of the spotlight on her. She wanted to make it all about, and even Christine says in her interview that Robin did include all of them in the goings on with the wedding, but still Robin gets a whole big to do.
Right. And let's be very clear. Let's be very clear about this. You can't have the polygamy propaganda program because I respect what Christine said. I respect what Cody said, and Robin is the gem in the salt of the earth. Okay, I hear you saying that. But the reality of it is, from the production side, there's zero chance that you could have a new wife come into a family, have a huge blowout wedding and reception, and exclude the first three wives and think that that's going to be okay. Specifically, when the viewer finds out that the second two wives, Mary or Christine and Janelle, basically had dinners for their weddings. And
Mm-hmm.
you're going to have the fourth wife show up. She's going to exclude Mary, Janelle, Christine, and have a big, huge wedding for herself. You couldn't do it. And part of the celebration was them celebrating the wedding. That's why TLC kicked in for the wedding. Cody didn't pay for this wedding. TLC paid for this wedding. And TLC, I'm sure, like, look, the other wives have to be involved. They have to be involved. Like the what's the rule of reality shows? Every reality show has it. You have to have at least two of the cast members show up, two or three of the cast members show up to an event for the event to be filmed and broadcast on the air. That's
Mm-hmm.
why they always have like the big parties or whatever, where sorry about that. They always have the big parties or the events, the promotional stuff for businesses, or they'll go on vacation together. Why would you go on vacation with a bunch of people you hate? Because if they didn't do it, the show wouldn't pay for it and they couldn't go.
Mm-hmm.
So if the other three wives wouldn't have showed up, they wouldn't have had the show for them. They wouldn't have paid for the wedding. And of course they wanted the wedding. If they didn't want to have the wedding, all they had to do was say we didn't want the other wives involved.
Yeah.
Case closed. So yeah,
And then
you can miss me with that, Cody.
yeah. And then we're gonna probably be a little bit short tonight, guys, because this was kind of just a filler episode. There was really just two big events, the Mary stuff and then the Christine wedding venue shopping. But one of the things that I did, the very end, we get, we have all these moments from the trailer, and it's interesting to see where they happen like organically in the show. And the idiot that got left behind comment comes from Robin when she's talking about the fact that all of the wives are moving on with their lives and she's just the idiot that got left behind.
Right.
And I'm like,
Right.
another soundbite that I'm like, I don't know if that came off the way you thought it would. I think it kind of just did the opposite of what you thought it would, because it kind of makes it seem like you're not that happy.
Right. Right. Well, because the weird part about it is the thing that every time I hear her say that, it really strikes me is that if this is the man that you love, according to you, was it season 1, episode 2, when we were introduced to Robin, the first thing that came out of her mouth is Cody is my soulmate. If you're with your soulmate, what do you care what these other women are doing? Isn't it funny how both Cody and Robin have criticized the OG3 relentlessly because you're worried about my apple when you have an orange? Why are you comparing? Why are you comparing, y'all? Why are you comparing your life and their situation? Fine, they moved on. They wanted to turn their back on the good times and the good stuff, which is Cody Brown, Captain Curls. They don't want to be with him and they want to go off and do their own thing. Let them go. That's just more curl time for you. What are you mad about? You understand what I mean? Like a personal story. Story time. At my house, I enjoy carrot cake, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody in my house like carrot cake but me. If I go out and buy carrot cake, I don't say I'll never buy carrot cake because nobody like it. I go buy carrot cake and I can sit it in the refrigerator and I can come back anytime I want and I don't have to worry about it being gone. You know what I mean? And I enjoy the shit out of my carrot cake. Delicious, right? Because it's for me. I love it, right? It doesn't matter that nobody else like it. I like it. So, Robin, if this is the man you love, why don't you want to spend all your time with him and have him all to yourself like you've been doing? You don't have to sneak, lie, cheat, steal, hide, conceal. You can roll him up the front door, wrap your arms around him, and give him a big old sloppy, wet, Christine, David, Woolley kiss on the front porch all to yourself all day long. But you're upset because you're mad that these women are going to go out and have a better life than you wanted them to have because you knew what they had when they were with Cody, but now they seem like they're happy, and that's what's upsetting you. That's
Mhm.
why you're mad. You know.
Yep.
Sorry about the rant, but that's
No.
that burns me up.
We got a few more super chats. Thank you so much, you guys. Elizabeth, hey guys, big fan from Sydney, saying good day, mate. I hope I didn't butcher that accent. Too
Right.
bad.
Yeah, me too.
Shanna Lee A, thank you so much. Yeah, but the OG three wives had to wear them ugly brown dresses at Cody and Robin's wedding, though. Good point. Good point.
Well, on that factor, how many times have you gone to a wedding where the bride comes out, looks beautiful,
Uh-huh.
beautiful dress, and the bridesmaids look like they got thrown down a garbage chute? Who the
Yeah.
hell picked these clown dresses out?
There's a movie with Katherine Heigl, 27 Dresses, where she's like kind of the always a bridesmaid, never a bride. That's like the whole basis for the movie. And then what she ends up doing is she makes all the women she was a bridesmaid for wear the bridesmaid's dress that they made her wear to her wedding. It was super cute at the end.
Classic. Yeah, that's classic. That's good.
Yeah. Negla 3, thank you so much. She is the idiot who got left behind. Duh. Yeah. Brittany, not Brittany, thank you so much. She's the donkey that got left behind.
Ass.
She's the ass, yeah. Kimberly, the queen, 1961. James, how about you share that carrot cake with me? My husband loves carrot cake. My son loves carrot cake. Oh my gosh.
Hey, carrot cake's the best.
I think my son got it in his hand. He's like, it's carrots. I don't know. Like that, it's a vegetable.
Right. It's good for you. It's funny. I love carrot cake, but I'm wearing glasses, right? Weird, but
the nothing bundt cake, carrot cake. My husband and my son will go to town on
right.
Yeah.
You see, I don't have to worry about that in my house. I put it in the refrigerator. I can come back anytime I want. And it is safe.
See, carrot cake personally is not my jam, but James, if we were roommates, it would be safe with me. But if you were roommates with my husband and my son,
yeah, it'd be done.
Yeah,
I put it in the refrigerator, go to the bathroom, come back. Man, I just went to wash my hands. What the hell, bro? I had the fork sticking out of it. I thought you were done with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, tiramisu thin Oreos.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Doing, snack food is getting on another level these days. I like tiramisu cheesecake from Cheesecake Factory. People hate on Cheesecake Factory. Cheesecake Factory is like fine dining to me. And I'm not embarrassed to say that. And with that, James, what do you have coming up this week?
Oh, I got videos. I didn't put out my videos from last week. So I have some videos that are bled over from last week that I'll be dropping this week. Okay. And of course, I got to talk about that damn driveway that, Cody was, being a hard head about. Like, what did Wesley Snipes and Blade, he said a classic line. He said, Mickey Ficky's got to try to ice skate uphill. And that's what I was thinking about Cody with that damn trail. Back the trail up so you don't have to walk across a sheet of ice with this new furniture that your friend's wife is about to get so you don't break the legs off of it when you land on top of it, you jackass. Oh, no, I'm going to do what I want to do. Hard heads make a soft ass every time. That's what my grandma used to say.
So, I love that.
But yeah, so check out the videos. What do you have coming up?
Yeah, I have a video coming out tomorrow. We're going to talk about, I just found it really interesting, some of the things Cody and Christine had said about their religion and there's not a lot right now happening, obviously popping off on the show as far as like fireworks. But what I think is really fascinating is what Cody is revealing about his religious beliefs, Because I think for a lot of years, I've been wondering, like, what does he believe? Because it's been unclear. And he seems to hold a lot of animosity towards his church for his life not going the way he wanted it to. And I think I find that really interesting. We're going to talk about that in a video tomorrow.
Right. Well, because I think that it's I think that one of the big drawbacks to one of the big probably selling points of the religion is that all the men in that religion are considered gods.
Right.
One of the big drawbacks is, how do you consider yourself a god, but you still got somebody in charge of you telling you what to do? And I think that that's part of the complication when Cody's dealing with these religious leaders. Like, I myself am a god. How are you going to tell me what to do?
Right.
Because his ego gets so big. So yeah, he's conflicted. Right. It's conflicted. So I look forward to seeing your video tomorrow.
Negla sneaking in there. One more super chat. In my house, seeded rye bread and or kraut, like sauerkraut? Or is that another kind of bread?
I think that's... Oh, wow. I got all kinds of alarms popping.
James, your alarm sounds like my dryer. I thought my dryer was going off. I have a Samsung, and it makes this like do-do-do-do-do, like when it's done.
Right. Singing.
So the first time your phone went off, I was like, "Oh, is that my load of laundry?"
Right. That's the whistle while you work song, like.
Yes. Oh man, I wonder what's gonna pop off this week, because for the last like couple weeks, it's lawsuits, house sales. It's like the off show shenanigans is like more interesting almost than the on show shenanigans, given that the on show stuff is 2 years old.
Yeah, you know what? The crazy part is, I think it's only going to get worse. Yeah, because especially as they start to get closer to, like the D-Day on the cases, now the custody case and stuff. Like, from what I understand, they've already submitted, I think, his sample. I've read somewhere that Cody had already submitted his sample, so it's not really a surprise that it's going to be Cody's child. Like, I don't think it's coming back, and that's going to be wrong. But once that comes back, the case will start rolling. And once that starts rolling, there's a possibility that, once they start doing discovery for the case and he has to turn over all his financial information, it would be a crazy thing if some of that financial information just happened to make its way into Janelle and Mary's hands and they were able to kind of pinpoint where his money's coming from. I don't know. So this whole thing has a potential to get crazy, which is why, Mr. Manosphere, I don't understand why you let it get this damn far. Cody, if you are watching us right now, first off,
like
you dude, you're a horrible person. But my man, you should have been on the phone with Christine trying to work this out outside of the court system. 100%. You should have been talking to Mary and Janelle, trying to figure out County Pass, get them their money so you can be free and clear and you can live your life. You should have been making sure that you cut a check to Christine every month, regardless of whether you have a court order in place or not. This is what I would suggest to anybody who is a non-custodial parent. Cut a check to the custodial parent every month for what you can pay. Cut them a check. So that way you have a record of paying and you have a history of paying. And if you do have any back child support that's due and owed to you, you can get a reduction on your payments. If you go in there dry like this dude, oh my man, you finna get done. $1.6 million income off of the sale of a house or a property, and that's all profit, because you're not transferring it for tax reasons. You should purchase a property and then sell a property and purchase the property with the proceeds from that property to evade like the bracketing of the taxes, like, because that'll move you to a different bracket. All of a sudden, $1.6 million. But if you don't do that, that's all income. And so now you're paying you prospectively, you could be paying child support like you're making 1.6 million on top of whatever it is you're making every year. Dumb. Like this is dumb. You should, bro. You making all kinds of mistakes. I don't know. Habitual rake steppers. Like they're
Yeah.
habitual rake steppers.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much to our moderators, Lizzie B. I saw B
Yep.
Cat. I think Kendra as well. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you all in our next videos. Bye.
See ya.